Okay, so in October 2020 we did a little walk from the Swan pub here down to Shotton. So I thought we might rerun it now because it's August 2022 now and see what sort of things have changed and what have you. The Swan Inn's changed a bit. That little Swan Inn sign has gone, but the board is still up. The pub sign. King's Road, that leads on. There's the old metal sign up there. That leads on to the cemetery. In fact, that was called Cemetery Road before it was King's Road. If you go back and have a look at the internet and have a look for the National Library of Scotland maps website if you're into old stuff, because they've got a vast collection of free online old maps, and you can go routing back to, I don't know, 1870 something, I think it is. So what you do, you go on there and you put the place where you want to see, and then you pick a map. 25-inch to the mile and 6 to the mile are quite good. One of the sad things, you see this gap here in the road, if you have a look at that old map, this gap exists, and directly opposite that gap, so just about here, was the old road. I think it was Golfton Road, this one. And then from where these houses start here, I think I counted about 9. And that was the other road that used to be here before the flats were built, Waterloo Road. So it'd be roughly where the old chemist used to be, is roughly where Waterloo Road would have been. I hope I've got that the right way round. One's Golfton Road, one's Waterloo Road. But I think this one was Waterloo up here. Shops haven't changed much. I don't think Salon Boutique's open anymore though. I think that one's finally bitten the dust.
People who own the shop, that's their stock room.
I see.
I've seen them go in there and getting cans and stuff, for his shop.
Yeah, so roughly here-ish would have been Waterloo Road. And then at the back you had Union Street. I think there's a new Union Street now, but it used to be Union Street there. And all this was houses. There was a newsagent's on the end of this flat block here on the corner, and then across the road was Osborne House, which was an old Victorian townhouse sort of thing, on the end where those houses have been built. Taste the Bengal still here. Here's me, Sado. George Royal on the post box, predating Queen Elizabeth. China Garden in Chinese food. Quite nice in there.
What do you want?
I think we're going to nip in the shop, so I'll pause it here for a sec. Can't recommend this place highly enough. It keeps us going, Key Food and Wine. If it wasn't for here, no, I'm not filming in there. The man might go mad. Okay. We've just been to the shop and we got ourselves an ice cream. Look at that cornetto. I'm doing me tribute to Shaun of the Dead. This was a taxi office here for quite some time on the end of Rock Road.
They put fire on purpose. Info job.
Rumours.
Inside job, what they call it.
Rumours, yeah.
Rumours.
Can't say that for sure. You can't say that for sure, can you? Right, I'm going to have to stop. Right, we got ourselves ice cream each. I got myself a cornetto. I'm going to head back off now. Road up there leads up to the cemetery, Pen Lamb. And again, me being old and sad, looking at the maps from many years ago, there used to be a bowling green up there before you got up to the cemetery. Did you know that? There was a bowling green. Up Pen Road here, yeah. Pen Street leading up to Brim Road. If you look at an old map from about 1912, there was a bowling green. And I also noticed on there, you can see the Albion has been pulled down now. I think they were in the process of pulling that down last time we walked this way. But the Albion's gone and they've built this huge apartment complex. And I think that it was supposed to be for elder people, wasn't it? Wasn't it people over 50 or something? I think. I don't know if that actually happened, but those were the rumours. When the Albion was pulled down, they were going to build these apartment buildings. But the Albion, I've got a video somewhere that I've collected off the internet of the grand night of the Albion's opening. Sydney Devine, one of the entertainers of the time, and that was about 1960 something. But if you look on the maps again from about 1912, you'll see that there was actually a club there then. It's on the map, it's got club written down clearly, roughly where the Albion is, so there must have been a smaller one there at some point. And St Mark's Church, that's been there since, I think it's about 1850. It's something like that. But like I said in other videos, the road, see how the road has this cutting on it? Well, over this end here, this is where the graves were, and now they're all placed on the back wall. See at the back there, all the gravestones lined up next to each other in a big line. Doesn't look normal, does it? No, it's because they were here. Now I don't know whether they were this side of the wall or the other side, but people who remember it tell me that it was sacrilegious because they pulled the gravestones up and slung them at the back there and then tarmacked over the graves. I'm too young to remember, but that's what I've been told. This is St Mark's Infants. This has been here again probably since about the 1850s, I'd have thought. This was the old school. Now I went to this school, I only went here for 1 year because I got moved. We used to live in Galston and then we moved to Shotton, and when I came here, this wasn't the main school. This was like the hall where you used to go and sit for your Christmas carols and all that sort of stuff. The main school was at the back. St Mark's Infants, or when I was there it was known as Galston Infants. But that too has been ripped down now and made into a housing estate. And that was quite an old school, that one. I thought it was 1920s, but when you look on the map from 1912, that school's on it. So it must have been there longer than I thought. It's a funky looking Datsun, isn't it? This place here, on the right hand side now, is Farfield Lodge. And where those gates are, on the left hand side of the lodge, was the old road. And that road used to take you all the way up to Farfield Hall, because this was the lodge for the hall. None of this housing estate existed then. There's a large housing estate now at the back. But back in 1912, 12 and late 1800s, etc. It didn't exist. So it was just all fields and trees and a nice road leading up to the lodge. There was a gentleman here that used to run a business, Quay Clocks. Now I haven't seen the sign for some time, but I think the workshop's still there, so possibly he's still in business, I'm not sure. And one of the things you'll notice as we're walking down is one of the clocks in Shotton, the main clock in Shotton really, that's been outside what was the old Manweb's office, that has Quay Clocks written on it, so I think that gentleman may have had a hand in that one. These two buildings I'm just looking at now, they used to be doctor surgeries. Until recent years, really. This one here had a huge garden, which was quite recently turned into a bunch of terraced houses, or little houses. But the garden used to stretch back all the way from here right down to Dot Road. Get a lovely view here as well of the steelworks, if you can see over the top. That's the coatings really, the main steelworks with the blast furnaces and that. They closed when I was a kid, but the coatings are still there. Shotton Steel had quite a good reputation as being very good steel once upon a time. So it is a shame that the place died a death, but it was during the tenure of Mrs. Thatcher back in the late 70s, early 80s, when the country seemed to be moving away from steelworks and factories and places like Courtaulds in Flint and all that. I'm not fantastic at business, but it's a change in economy type, isn't it? Something like industrial to financial or service or whatever it is. And she had that on her mind, which in some ways kind of worked, but equally made thousands of people redundant and on the dole in this area for years. And now it's kind of come back to bite us, because the only problem with walking on the main road is a racket every 3 seconds. But it's come back to bite us now because we haven't got any industry of our own. So people are saying, oh, we'll turn your gas off, or we'll not supply you with coal, or we'll charge you this, that and the other for everything that you used to do yourself. So now we're in the hands of other nations to, look after us. And sometimes those nations aren't that friendly these days, so have to see how everything pans out. Nonetheless, this little Leighton Court place down here, this is where the Konoski railway station used to be. Used to go down here and it was a curve to the left and the station was down there. We are talking some years ago. I think it shut in the 60s, or late 50s. And it's a damn shame really, because it had been so handy to have a railway station here now. It probably encouraged more people to dump the car and start using the train again if the stations hadn't all been gotten rid of. But Dr. Beechin made his move and got them all closed. And this little pathway down here, we're on the bridge now, On the floor below, is it? That used to be the Buckley line, and that used to go from Konoski docks up to Buckley in North Wales, which is another close town to us here. And it used to be freight. I think this one was just freight, wasn't it? I don't think it was passengers.
Yeah, the passengers too.
Oh, okay.
Because the women used to come down here to go down there for the night. It's like a beachy, but it's not beachy as it really to us now, but it was then.
Yeah. What, to go on holiday or something?
Well, no, not to go on holiday, because they all used to go down there because it was like sand, people sell picnics.
Chat behind you, let these come down.
Because of one of the videos you put, I don't know whether you put it up,
Yeah.
but it shows you down the River Dee, and they're all like sunbathing on the sand and picnics and all that business.
Oh, okay. I was always under the impression it was just freight there, but there you go. This is Railway Terrace. I know I always mention it, but in those bushes over there that you can just about see, in there somewhere, there is a remains of a sign that used to be on this bridge here. And I think it's only the posts that remain now, but I think it used to hold information on the railway times. This place is still called Railway Terrace even now. This is the old barracks. This is the World War II version of the barracks. I think there was a smaller version of this place here beforehand. But obviously, as World War II, or the mid-30s was approaching, I think they kind of got wind that there's something going to happen, so this larger building was made, and it was the what do you call them? It was the cadets for quite a few years, but I suppose the cadets couldn't afford to keep this building running, so they sold it, and it was taken over by a place called Jimsel Construction. There's a local gentleman, Jim Sullivan, who run his own business for quite a few years. He may even still be going, I'm not sure. And he had his main offices here for quite a number of years, and then being a builder, when he sold up, he converted it all into housing. Probably quite wisely. He'll make a decent amount of money, profit from that, I suppose. Anne-Marie's going down to have a look, I think. I think that's as far as it goes. And there's the rear of the building. It's changed a lot now. There's a bit of an area when you come up the side of the, well, what used to be the cadets, or the Fusiliers barracks. This little garden, and on older maps, if you look here, this was a row of houses. What I find quite interesting here is the houses went straight down here, And that road the car just turned down to go down Dock Road didn't exist. This road wasn't here. It was just straight flat road all the way down. But there is an original Dock Road that did exist at the time that we can have a look at. And when I was a kid, across the road here, this bank was still going. I remember it being closed, and I remember it being converted to flats. And I'm pretty sure that when it was converted to flats, at least for a time, the vault was still in there. And whether it is now, I don't know. I'm assuming not, but certainly interesting if it was. Now down here we've got Riverside Cafe. Do you want to go and have a look?
If you want.
Yeah. Now it says Riverside Cafe, but it's a little bit more than just a Riverside Cafe. It's actually a community hub of sorts. One day we'll have to see if we can get a bit of an interview going with the guys that run this place, so they can give you a bit more of an in-depth view as to what it actually does, because I don't profess to know it all, to be honest. One thing I do know is here is a cafe, and they do things like English breakfast or something along those lines, you know, bacon butty, that kind of thing. They've also got a camera club that meet up here each week, and they've got a sort of, what would you call it? It's not exactly a museum of sorts, but it kind of is. They've got like a pile of old photographs and documentation, etc., that you can have a read through whilst you visit. Plus, I think you can hire out the rooms here for functions and things like that. Like I say, I don't profess to know everything about the place. But here we go. QWA Heritage Centre. Now I know it's the Kathleen and May Centre, so I think it's Quay Watermen's Association, QWA. I'm not sure if the times have changed because they've got papers on there, but it's usually till 5 PM each day. Now I think it's gone 5 PM now, so I don't know if it was open today. It may have been. Sunday dinners 2 for a tenner. That's not bad, is it? Hall available for hire. Meetings, events, days, evenings, parties, disco and DJ for hire. So they must have their own DJ as well. But I'm sure there's quite a lot more stuff that this place does, you know. It has got like a little museum of sorts. And someone across the way here has been repairing boats, because unfortunately a lot of the fishermen have either passed away or got too old to look after them or whatever. Something's happened anyway, and a lot of these boats have just been kind of dumped here for many years and not really a great deal being done with them. So someone has in recent times taken it on themselves to either buy them and do them up or just claim them and do them up. So it looks as though someone's building something with them. I mean, that one over there on the left hand side looks like it's been worked on, and the one that's up on the hill on the right looks as though it's been turned into a houseboat. It's a catamaran, I think, that one. And there is also in the background, if I zoom in, another catamaran, and that's been there for absolutely ages. I don't know if the owner's poorly or if he's passed away or what, but that's been there for quite some time. Also in the back, you see the black sheds of Summerses at the back. They're the old sheds then. They're the ones that used to be loads of once upon a time. And there was blast furnaces over there as well, so when I was really little, at night time, they tapped the furnace and all the sky would light up, it'd be black, and then all of a sudden it'd be almost like daylight, bright orange in the sky. It's really cool to see, but sadly that's all gone now. But at least we've still got the coatings, which is pretty good. Hey up, mate. And then you've got the old Quay house. Now the old Quay house, on the wall there it says 1777, and I can quite believe that there's been some kind of building there since then, whether it was always a pub or an inn, I don't know. It's got a barn at the back, but unfortunately the old Quay house is no longer. It was converted to housing probably, goodness me, it must be 20 years now, mustn't it?
The bar's still there though.
Is it?
Well, they removed it, got told off, and let's put it back.
Oh right, okay. It must be listed.
It's a listed building.
Internally listed as well, God. But the Buckley line that we mentioned before used to come down through these holes here and head off in different directions on the dock. I think to the left of the cafe, wasn't there a launching point? I think to the left hand side of the Quay Watermen's Association Kathleen and May Centre, I think that's where they used to launch boats from at one point. I think. I'd definitely say Google it just to make sure, but I think that's where they went from. I'm sure they had like a slip or something for launching them from. I've seen this painting before as well. Not just on here, it was it's an actual photograph that I've seen online somewhere. I'm sure it's that one. I'm not going crazy, I don't think. And these industrial units are a little bit more modern. When I was a kid, it was still the remains of the railway down here, so although the railway is long gone, there was still quite a lot of these units that were using the old railway carriages as storage for their industrial units. I don't think there's any left down there now. But we are talking, goodness me, 40 odd years ago, when I was a kiddie, and it had been shut for 20 years then, probably. So it was just remains. But yeah, this part of the road, Dock Road, that we're on now, didn't exist back in 1912 and earlier on the map. This has been put in at a later date. I don't know whether it's because it's wider or it's less twisty or what, but this piece of road never used to exist. You'd be on the back of houses and little business things, business units of some type here. I know there's housing on the right hand side, and then if you look on the left there's like little square blocks that look like, I don't know, they look too small to be a house, but they may have been just a very small house. But this road here is actually Dock Road. That's what this was called. This was called Dock Road. And a few of the buildings here still stand. A couple of them are getting pulled down as we speak, really, which is a bit sad, but they had been burnt many years ago. This tyre safe place here, again looking on the map, this I don't know what you call it, it's like where the cars park when the business is in operation, but here if you look on the map there's a square unit. Oh wait, yeah, lawnmower repairs, but this was a smithy. There was a smithy there, And also, just under the bridge, I think it was just before the bridge on where that bank is, there was a smithy there as well. Whether they were tied, I don't know. But there's definitely a smithy there. It's on the map next to this large building here. I think there was a post office here too, but I'm a little bit hazy there, I've got to admit. We've got a post box, which looks like an old venerable looking thing, but what I was told about this building, whether it's true or not I don't know, was that the ship mast used to go through that loop that's sort of bent and fallen over a bit at the top, and then the block below was also used, and they used to hang sails up there for sails repairs for the ships. And that door there looks as though it's been built for the horse and cart era, because when you go trotting along with your horse and cart, you open the door and then dump all your boxes or whatever in the top there, because they were quite high, weren't they? So I just want to check this post box, because they said there was a post office here. When was this? George Royal, George the 6th. So when was he? Was he up until the 30s? I'm not sure. Oh, we're going to be nosy, I think. Because there is some kind of old shed building at the back there. Just have a look through the gap. Blackberries. Yeah, some kind of an old barn type affair. Again, if you have a look on the maps, I bet you'll find something about what was there. The angering the butterflies. Oh no. A penny. I'll have to pick it up now. I can't leave it there. Bad luck. There used to be, just by the bank across the way there used to be like a little wooden hut on the hill. And that was like a little community centre where the pensioners used to meet up. But then it was also a nursery, because I went there for a while. But years later they built Bethel Place, these blocks of flats here. And on the end, just past these houses here, there was a billiard hall in the 80s, 90s. This Grill and Mitchell place has been shut for quite some time, and it had a fire at some point, and you could see through the roof, and it looks as though they're starting to pull it all down now, sadly. There might be a bit of info, there's a bit of documentation there for the building owner. What's it say? The council officer would like to gain admittance. I think he wants to get in there to pull the poor place down. And I'm not sure about these two. I think they may have been at some point businesses, but I'm not too sure. There used to be shops along here that were pulled down to build more accommodation. The demand for housing's so high now, you see, there's a lot of us and there's not many houses. Or there's not many houses that are in the affordability range of a lot of people. house prices have gone insane and wages have not kept up for 40 years. So previously, when you were young and you got married at 18 and you had your wife, you got yourself a little house, a cheap one, and built up from there. You can't do that now because you can't even afford the cheap one, so you're kind of doomed. In the UK anyway. That's Brown's Furniture Warehouse, and on the back there, the steeper roofed building, that is an old chapel that I don't know if has it still got the stained glass windows. I'm not sure it has, you know, but the should we go and have a should we go and have a sniff? May as well, eh?
Which is now shut down, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some moments in there, fights and...
Yeah, it's had a bit of a rep at times, but...
I've been in there.
The Hare and Hounds is closed, unfortunately, at the moment. Freehold for sale.
It's quite a big building there, because you've got... Because originally, there's a blue door with a light above it. That used to be an archway where the horse and carts used to go through.
Yeah, there's photos of it online.
Pictures on the internet, you'll find it.
Is it big enough to be another Wetherspoons, do you reckon?
Don't know.
If they have the upstairs open, well, you never know. You go, take note, Wetherspoons. There's a... There's no point talking while the hairdryers go past. Yeah.
That wasn't there, that fence.
No.
Used to go through into the beer garden because it's now shut, obviously. Put a fence there.
Yeah. But as you can see, it is a very large building, isn't it? That's the Hare and Hounds. But this piece here was an old chapel. If you look on, again, old maps, National Library of Scotland, giving them a bit of a plug today, you'll see all this. It is interesting, to be fair, that National Library of Scotland site, because you can get maps for a lot of areas in the UK. So if you wanted to have a look at Blackpool or Rhyl or Chester or London or whatever, you can roll on back, and some places will have better maps than here. They'll have more of them probably. Places like London are probably mapped every 20 minutes, whereas this place is probably mapped every 20 years, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Brown's Furniture Warehouse, that's a long-standing business in the area. And this place used to be a chip shop, and it's a adjoining building. Sea spray we used to call it, but it was spinnaker at one point. It was known as on the signs outside. Yeah, it's an awful shame the Hare and Hounds has gone. What can you do? I think this beauty place is still open. I'm sure I've seen this open recently. Hammer Sound has gone now. A chap called Brian run that for a heck of a long time. Used to get your instruments in there. That was if you wanted to get yourself a Yamaha DX7 or a Wasp keyboard or something. You'd probably find one in there. Oh, the old guard dog there, making sure no one nefarious gets in the building. You'll have your leg. And this Albert Place was Quick Save. And it was a very early Quick Save, this one, because Quick Save used to number their stores. You know, Quick Save 1, 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah, and I think this one was really low. It was something like, I don't know, number 5 or number 7 or something. It was really low. And this newsagent's here, G&R Newsagents. There is a video online. It's on the BFI. I think it's the British Phonographic or something. It's something like that, Phonographic Institute. And it's got a video called the Konoski Fete or Konoski Carnival video. And if you look at when they go past this newsagent's on that video, it looks exactly the same. Back in like 1965 or something like that.
That's where the old police house was.
Yeah, and he's just saying on the end, on the other side here, that's where the old police house was. Well, it was known as the police house when we were a kid, but again, if you look back on the maps from about 1912, it's actually got written down police station. So at some point this was a police station. There's a little doorway at the bottom of the street there as well that used to lead through onto the railway, but it's got a huge boulder in front of it now because I think it was being used as an alleyway for drug use and things like that, so they ended up putting a stop to it. This is another chapel church that's bitten the dust in recent years. The Methodist chapel.
Flats,
Yeah,
houses.
yeah, just like the one
The 6
on the Quay Hill.
Or maybe the 6 down there, I don't know when it was there, or 6 altogether.
Yeah, possibly. Erected 1883. It is sad to see all these buildings going, but I suppose it's either housing or demolished, so it's the lesser of two evils, really. You know, it could be just ripped down and turned into an Aldi, couldn't it? So at least it's still standing. I haven't seen the ship open for quite some time. Yeah, Amber's just mentioned the little hill at the back there. Primrose Hill. Mount Pleasant, 1897 this building was erected.
I think the ship is open, I think we go round the back.
Oh right, okay. Rumours are it's open round the back. It looks pretty shut down to me, but yeah, these areas here. This one was the bank, and Zari was the old council office. In fact, it's even got written up on the top there. If you can see it, Urban District Council, 1929. And these were the old bank buildings. I can't remember what bank it was though. Was it NatWest? I don't think it was Barclays. Now the garage here, the garage here used to be the Volvo specialist. Now I can't see many signs advertising that they are.
It's the Volvo specialist, I think.
Yeah, I can't see any signs though saying that they are, but they did used to be. Yeah, if you had a Volvo, people used to come from far and wide to this place. I know my cousin used to come from Anglesey here to the Volvo place. This used to be second-hand furniture and things once upon a time. Electricals.
White goods.
Yeah. And the houses on the other side of the road, those white ones, aren't, well, I say they're not that old, they're probably about 20 years old, but it's not that old to me. There used to be a printer's across the way there. Yeah. Rightio. One for sale.
They do videos now, and they put them up.
Yeah, they do.
So you can see.
This white and red house here has been here for absolutely donkey's years. It's an old place, and it had a lovely garden, a massive, absolutely massive garden, and it was full of, it was like an orchard, full of like apple trees and things like that, all sorts of beautiful trees, and it was a lovely looking garden. And then I think that the person who owned it passed away or sold it, and it turned into
Here it is.
a big housing estate.
Marsh Cottages.
Oh, there you go, Marsh Cottages.
1851, 1912.
Yeah, I don't know what the significance of that is, 1851 to 1912, but there must have been some significance of that. But the that used to be over a door, if I remember correctly, like an archway thing that led in.
Archway to the garden, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the garden was huge. But as with most huge gardens these days, they're very quickly turned into housing estates. The land's worth so much money. And the buildings across the way here are going to be converted soon. One was a first aid training area on the right hand side, and the one on the left was the bargain store. So if you're a DJ and you needed a set of amps or speakers or lights or some kind of disco equipment or something, that was your shop. You could get loads of stuff in there. Now the window's been taken out of the first aid Red Cross place, but the sun's so bright I don't know if you'll be able to see, because it's absolutely cooking this week in the UK. Absolutely cooking. It's something like 30, 35 degrees today. Yeah. See if I move over a little, if we can get that sun to go behind. Yeah, just about. Yeah, these buildings are not destined to be with us for much longer. They're going to be pulled down, I think, and turned into probably housing. I always like that door. That's one thing I do like about old, extremely old houses especially. They've always got a decent set of doors on them, you know, to get furniture through. And nowadays you've got doors like that you can get, well, yourself through if you haven't had too many takeaways. But the old houses, they knew how to do it properly. Another Chinese, delicious. I haven't been here for about 20 years, but the grub used to be nice here. Always recommended. Let's have a look at the prices for the future. Let's have a look. Chicken with straw mushrooms and oyster sauce, £6. King prawn with cashew nuts, $6.90. I bet by the time someone's watching this, it'll be like £18 for one of them. Amberie's picking a tea.
Yep.
Motorcycle spare shop, that's been there for a number of years as well. That was weird, it was quiet for about 10 seconds. just across the way where that Volkswagen is heading over, there's a gateway. And when I was a kid, there used to be like a metal archway going across there, and I always used to think, wow, it must be off to a big old haunted house or something up there. But there is a house hidden behind those trees, I believe. It's Sunday, so the church, I think, is in action. Pause for a sec. Okay. Anne-Marie just spotted a dog running around and she was worried it had been let loose. Got the owners there. Yeah, church is in session, I think, at the moment. It's a Christian church here. Cestrian Street. I've got photographs somewhere, and you can get them online, of Cestrian Street, and down the bottom of there it's like a river coming up to probably the double yellow lines, if not higher. In fact, it come up onto the top of the main road because there's pictures of the kids paddling round in it. But one thing that I don't really understand, and I probably mentioned it before, is that they built a huge housing estate the bottom of a hill a bit further up the road here. Now at the top of the hill I've got 1970s photographs of kiddies on chopper bikes, and they're splashing through all the water because the River Dee burst its banks, and it come up onto the top of the main road here where all the cars are. Now what someone's done is gone down a left-hand road off the main road down here, and at the bottom of the hill below the main road they've built a housing estate in recent years. And I always think, well, with global warming and rising tides and all that business, surely that's foolhardy. Didn't someone have a look? Oh, someone's forgotten to take their milk in. They may have been.
And it's curdled on the top.
Yum. Do you want it? Leave them 50p and have a bottle, Anne-Marie.
No, you're alright. It's just got a bit thick. I know it's thick on the top anyway because of cream, but...
Yeah, but like I was saying, someone's built a housing estate at the bottom of the hill when the top of the hill was completely underwater, so I can't see how that's going to work out well for the people who live in those houses, but you never know.
Up them steps used to be a park.
Yes, they did. Used to be a children's play area.
And then that thing you stand on and spin round.
And I think it was here, was Redhall Farm. I think that was up here because I'm sure in the...
And it was a hospital too.
Yeah, in the home up there, there's a photo of it, isn't there?
And there was a hospital where people were born.
Yeah. Good old number 10. Yeah, it was just one huge park. Yeah. Yep, there were public toilets here once upon a time. Now, when I was a little kid, I used to come and play in this park with my mum.
Where the public toilets were.
They were further on, weren't they? Were they about here, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Not sure. But at the back, you can't really see it now because I've gone a bit too far, but there's like a little bowling green. Here we go. And when I was a little kiddie, that house at the back there where they keep all the bowling green stuff used to be known to me as the Three Bears house, because I used to think that Goldilocks and the Three Bears lived in there when I was a little kid. I used to go up to the bars to see if I could see any of the bears. But funnily enough, I never saw any. See, I thought the toilets were here, but then I could be wrong.
Down the steps.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Yeah, there we go. This is the old gas lamp. Not many people know this is here, but there is. One of the last gas lamps in Konoski. And someone, for a chuckle, has put a toy canary on the top. See? It looks like it could do with a bit of TLC, this. I'll have to come down and give it a paint. Yeah, but that's one of the last gas lamps in Konoski. I don't know if it is the last one, but it's one of the last ones. This row here was a variety of shops, etc., but over time they've closed. That one in front of me now was an Indian till a few years ago. And then at the other end of the row, just before you get to the Custom House pub, there was a dairy. Now I remember it as Robbo's Dairy back in the 80s, but there was a dairy there beforehand. It may have been Hanson's, I'm not sure, but there was a dairy there, and there was also a slaughterhouse there. Many, many moons ago. But this housing estate here is, what, 2 years old maybe? They pulled the dairy down because it had been derelict for donkey's years, and they built this housing estate here. And they also see how the houses are pushed back away and there's a large area of path. Well, that was because it was very close to the road previously and the visibility was terrible. Yeah, I mean those houses may be okay to a certain extent down Maud Street, but yeah, but even those were yeah, they are right on the railway, but even those houses there are lower than the main road here. And there are photos of kiddies paddling about in the water on the main road here. Konoski Catholic Church, that's been here for a number of years. No, I haven't seen this place before. Is this a new one? I know that Duna, Rachel, has gone mobile now, so Duna's Barbers, it used to be here, she's actually online now. She has got a website and she comes out to cut your hair instead, so you can still get your hair cut by Rachel. This Thai Rose massage place though, not seen that one before. Konoski Catholic Church. The front has changed on this in, well, I think it was probably about 30 years ago, because the front was a bit different before. That's about it. The Custom House pub as well, that's reopened now, because that one was shut for quite some time, but they've managed to get someone to take it over. There was a sweet shop here for a few years. A German lady used to run it, and this was the Hippodrome, which was well, in my time it was a bingo hall. I think it was a cinema beforehand, and then it was a bingo hall. I remember it being a bingo hall, and then in later years it's been a second-hand shop. Now it's been a second-hand shop run, I think, by the same guy since the mid-1980s. They used to have a cafe right at the bottom on the left hand side, and the decor is still there from said cafe because I popped in there a few months back to have a nose and noticed that the old cafe setup was still there. No longer used as a cafe though. Sounds like he's got a flat tyre, that man. Salvation Army hut across the way. Good old Sally Army. And this was a bank. I think it was the... Oh, I'm not sure. Was it the Midland or was it the Halifax? I don't think it was Halifax. Can you remember which one this one was though?
What?
Was it the Midland Bank?
Midland or Lloyd's? Was it Midland? I think it was Midland, wasn't it?
Midland, because I think Lloyd's was further down. Cyril Jones's. I mean, these are the ones that I remember. I'd always encourage people who live around here to get out with a camera and make a few videos of their own, because there's loads of stuff I probably don't know. Places that I've missed or got wrong or whatever. I know that one of these buildings was a hardware store, but I don't know which one it was, because it had shut about 20 years before I was born, but it was here somewhere. Yeah, Quay something. You can't really make it out. It may be that that was the shop there, I don't know. See there? Quay something it says. Possibly.
No, I don't know.
Quay something. Yeah. Do you want to?
Something store.
Watch out for the chap on the bike.
No, Quay cycle store.
Oh, well, there you
Is
go.
that what it says?
I think so, yeah. Quay cycle store. See, I've not seen that before. There you go. Anne-Marie's getting a photo. I'll shift over and let you get one, love. Phew. I am cooking, guys. It is roasting. I mean, it's probably about 6 o'clock in the evening. It's still about 40 degrees. Hilborough. I'm sure that house is up the lane that leads up towards Wepper. You know, when I go down on one of my walks, we go past an old schoolhouse leading up to Wepper down the back lanes in Shotton. I think that house is on that lane over. We still have a post office, just about. There's not many of those left. Another Chinese. This is where the old church used to be, with the steeple that was on pretty much every single postcard that they did of Konoski. And just where that car's turning now, that Citroen or the white car pulling out, and up into the little precinct across the way there, well, that was, I don't know, thigh deep in water. There's pictures of little kiddies in wellies and stuff wading around in the water there from when the river burst its banks in 1976. in the summer of 76 it burst its banks and it was up on here. And then down this hill, I mean you guys probably can't see because it's on camera, but that's a reasonable drop from the main road down there. And then at the very bottom of that hill, they've built a housing estate. And every single day it's going on about global warming and rising tides and how we're all going to be Aquamen in about 10 years. So why on earth would you build a housing estate down there? I've got no idea, but nonetheless, it's there. The only thing I could say is make sure you get a dinghy if you live down there. This used to be the Boathouse pub. The whole building used to be the Boathouse pub. It's William Hill's Bookies now. It's looking a little bit worse for wear, to be honest. I thought Bookies would be making a killing in this kind of era. Could do with a lick of paint. But I digress. We've got the Bookies, Ladbrokes and William Hill. Hot stuff takeaway. Chinese again. Nice food though. I think I might join Anne-Marie, she's chilling out. I'll just grab a drink for a sec. So I'll see you in a minute.
You can go further down the back.
Rightio. So we had a 10-second sit down, but Anne-Marie has been doing some investigation and found this. I've never seen this, and I've always lived in this area. Look at that. Gladstone House. That's on the side of the dry cleaners, and do you know what? I've passed this dry cleaners for 46 years. I've never seen that. Gladstone House. So that's the name of the building, I'm assuming. For many years, this building here, Transylvanian Cuisine, was yes, a video shop, Premier Video. It was called. I've always been intrigued by this Transylvanian cuisine thing, but I don't recall seeing this place open. I don't know. It's looking like it's having some either renovation or pulling down done to it at the moment, so I don't know exactly what's going on. Hot Stuff across the way there. It's been there for years, but Hot Stuff for, goodness me, many years was here, where it says Diyar Kebab House. That was Hot Stuff. And if you look again at those photos online I was talking about of Konoski floods in the 1970s, you'll see loads of kiddies on their chopper bikes, and in the background is Hot Stuff. Yellow with red writing, just on that Diyar Kebab place. And then they moved over there, same people. And I called in there for the first time in, goodness me, 20 years. Last year, and the lady who used to run the shop across this side of the road was still in there, and she said, "Hello, I haven't seen you for a long time." No kidding, look. I said, "Oh, fatter." Then you've got Lloyd Williams. Lloyd Williams here was a furniture shop. Selling furniture, but it's been a plumbing and heating place for, goodness me, at least a decade, if not longer by now. Spring Street even, garage was down here. Now we're in the realm of deep civilization here now. So some of the weirdos are crawling out the woodwork. So apologies if anyone starts swearing out of car windows or running round in the knack or whatever. But this is Konoski. This is home. It wasn't always like that though, sadly. But I digress. Tesco's. At the back of Tesco's we've got the Quay Medical Centre. That's where most of the doctors in the area live now. And this complex was built and put here in the 70s, I think it was, early 70s. There was a pile of buildings built and rented out, I think, at the time. Possibly still are, to be honest. Okay, St Andrew's Methodist Church, I think that St Andrew's is still going. I think. I could be wrong, because they're taking the sign off the front there, but you never know. Used to be a jeweller's here as well, didn't there? Horlicks jewellers, many moons ago.
They're on the back,
I suppose it could do. They may be blocked off these days though, because they're people's homes. Motor World is closed now. That's a venerable old place. That was open for many, many years.
Or you can go on the foot.
Wilton's Flowers, Fruit and Vegetables. That place has been there forever. Seaside Dental Surgery. Used to be Mr. Potter, Parry and Foodie in there. I think most of them have retired now. I think Mr. Foodie's still there. The rest of them I think have gone. And we're almost reaching the dividing line now between what is known as Konoski and Shotton. If you head up that road and keep on going, you eventually come to Wepper Woods, which we have visited on a few videos in the past. Oh look, we've got a little admirer. I don't know if you can see him. Fluffy black pussycat. Yeah, across the way on the complex here you've got the library, and you've also got, well, I think it's still there, the clinic for newborn mothers and what have you. You also used to have the council offices, but they were pulled down probably about 5 years ago-ish. And then further across the road is the old swimming pool. And there was a thing many years ago that Wepper Hall was going to be pulled down, and the council said, look, there's kiddies swimming in the River Dee, so we can either save Wepper Hall, or we can leave the kiddies drowning in the Dee, or we can build the swimming pool. So obviously everyone got together and got behind the swimming pool. So the swimming pool was built and Wepper Hall was pulled down. down, which was a shame. And then the council sold the swimming pool to a private company and discharged their duties. Nice one, FCC. Now that building across the way there was Gateway's supermarket, and then Gateway's become Summerfield, and then Summerfield closed, and it was crimes. I can't remember. It was another discount store for a while, not for very long, and then it shut about 10 years ago, 15 years ago even, maybe. And it's been shut ever since, and there's been a rumour dropping every 6 months for about the past 8 years that it's going to be Aldi or Lidl. And then every 6 months it swaps and then nothing ever happens. Allegedly it's going to be Aldi, and then next week it's going to be Lidl. I'm not sure what it'll be next month. Now these houses here have been substantially renovated because they were starting to get a bit dilapidated here, number 18 and 20. But they were built in 1871, so they're pretty old buildings for this town anyway. Yeah, I think the only thing that's going to be used for, by the look of it, with that great big hole in it, is a giant pigeon loft. But you never know. Some miracle may happen and it might actually turn into a supermarket or something again at some point. Maybe. I'm not going to hold my breath. Right, we're nearly pretty much at the dividing line. I generally call the bridge the dividing line between Konoski and Shotton. I hope you can still hear me because there is a heck of a lot of traffic now. So hopefully you can still pick me up. I've got the Cenotaph here. Some git had sprayed it with something and they were finding it almost impossible to get it off. But I think in recent months they've either recovered the brass or they've managed to get it cleaned up. Because that's one thing, we should all look after that. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. So that should be kept clean, tidy and looked after and not vandalised, etc. I wouldn't be happy if I caught someone vandalising it. Amory's melting, so am I. It is warm though, fair play. We're going to walk down as far as the Shotton Bridge, I think. Pop into Weathers and get a drink, maybe a butty. But I think we'll be lucky. So I'll probably be hanging out the windows and sat on the roof. See if we can spot any rats today. Mr. Rat does live down there. There's absolutely tons of them down there somewhere, but they keep well hidden. I know a gentleman who lives nearby to here and he caught 7 in one day in a trap. So I think I was pointing at the trees. The heat's getting to me, getting heat stroke now. Yeah, that was Lloyd's Bank across the way there. for many, many years, and then it became Cyril Jones Solicitors. Next door to Cyril Jones stroke Lloyd Bank was the job centre. That's moved to near to the privately owned swimming pool now. And then the Wok Wan Buffet, Chinese buffet, that's been a Chinese buffet or Chinese restaurant for as long as I can remember. It was the Golden Key, it was the Imperial Palace, it's been Wok Wan, I think it's been something else as well. But it has been a Chinese restaurant of one form or another for at least 40 years, probably more. I can remember going in there in about 1980, 81. So it's been around for quite some time in a variety of guises, but it's been there. Delicious Cakes, was that here in 2020? I'm not sure that it was, and I don't think Me Beauty and Hairdressing was either. I don't think. Now, Deeside Insurance had gone last time we went past here, but this building I think was actually here at that point. They have a variety of weird and wonderful things. Like you can get an industrial heater, or you can get a rocking horse, a fluffy one. I love it. And then I think there's PCs or something on this side. Yeah. Old PCs, probably run Windows 3.11 on some of them. There's little poles, I don't know if you can see them. Amber was just looking then. That's what made me think. But on the side of the building you got the pole. And that's for the Christmas trees at Christmas.
Tom the Cheap.
Yeah, and that used to be Tom the Cheap, it did, yeah. And on the other side, I think.
And it's still got the sign on it.
Lodvic's, the fruitiers.
Yeah, it's still got the sign on it.
Yeah, do you want to go and have a look? Lodvic's was a fruit shop that was here for, well, many years. It's been gone for quite some time now. There we are, Lodvic's, the fruiterers. And this little garage here is still going. I'm not sure if they do MOTs here. I can't see an MOT sign, but they certainly do work on cars. And there was an old garage at the bottom of the road here, an old double garage. And some guy came along not long ago and turned it into two lovely little houses. I'm not sure if it's one, but it looks nice. It's just weird because I remember it being just a couple of garages not long ago. Price's the Butchers is still here. That's been around for, wow, a long time. I think he was there in the 50s. I think Mr. Price is long gone. Bryn the Butcher was there for years, and then another chap, Mark's taken it over in recent years, I think he runs the place now. I remember him being in there when he was like 15, 16. Worked out well. This place across the way here where it says Bodyline Weight Loss and Wellness, Escape Reality and the Cobra Life Martial Arts Black Belt Academy, that back in the 50s was a milk bar. Get milkshakes. And there's another Thai massage and spa therapy place. I don't know if that was there last time we went past. I'm not sure. I think that used to be Bartley's Bank, didn't it?
Yep.
I think. There was a Walk and Go across the road and other places. Clive Barber. Oh yeah. Very good, very good. Clive Barber. Clothes shop. Best of the bunch, flower shop. Be interesting to look back really, because I'm not quite sure which buildings still existed in 2020 when we last did a bit of a walk like this. Having a nose later to see which ones I've missed that have changed, because I wouldn't really spot things like Essence of Beauty by Joanna and what have you. There was a painted on sign on the side of Ryland Street here, but you can't really see it. See a few letters, that's about it. B&M was Woolworths. Woolworths with where Iceland is, there was a Tesco's. And an extension to Tesco's on the end that's now the Super Pound store. And OK9 Heaven on the left-hand side here has been here for a while because one of my videos has got him as the icon. There's a bingo hall up the top there. There's Woolies. And Iceland. Remember that clock I was on about earlier? Sadly, someone's gone and smashed it. Can't people leave things alone? I don't know. But all the glass has been smashed. That's the Quay clock. It was blue when I was a kid. Why would someone smash it though, eh? Get it fixed up. Don't smash it. More Turkish barbers and what have you. Shotton Cards and Gifts, used to be Thrifty Shoppers. And then across the way, through all these noisy cars, is Alf Jones's. Alf Jones was a gentleman's shop for buying shirts and suits and such like. I used to get things like school uniform, trousers and what have you from there. And then that little row across the way there, that row used to be the gate and hedges for the school that was on the main road. Is it St Ethelwald's? I'm not sure. I can't remember, I must admit, the name of the school, but I remember it being there. Was it St Ethelwald's, love? I can't remember.
Yeah. Now moved up to higher Shotton.
Yeah. That's gone up to by Deeside Community Hospital, has it?
I'm not sure if Shotton versus Moons, the kids to the top.
Ah, okay. But yeah, that's where the school was.
Shotton infants into though, but it's a shame. It's a very old building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All the schools are all closing now.
Okay. Okay, carry on for a bit longer. So I'm waiting for all the noisy things to go past this vehicle. See, bloody COVID. Right, I think I'll restart there because my COVID brain kicked in. I was coming out with all kinds of incorrect words. So, let's let all these vehicles go. Amber, you spotted something else. What's that? Sorry?
Is there something else on that wall? Or was there?
I don't know, you know, love, I can't really tell. It may just be a pattern.
It's just like pattern.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't see. No, I don't think so. Shotton bargains. I think that place is gone now too. The gentleman that worked there for many years used to own the Thrifty Shoppers shop just up at the traffic lights there. That's now Shotton Cards and Gifts. But I think he's finally retired now. I think he's finally sold on up, which is a shame because he was a real bastion of the community, that chap. If you wanted anything, he'd either have it or he'd be able to get it for you, you know. Batteries and razor blades and, you know, all kinds of stuff. Because most of the main shops, for a long time at least, have moved out the area. And we had Quick Save, that little probably, that's about it, but Thrifty Shoppers was there from the 80s, 1980s, I think about 84, 85, something like that. And when there was nothing here, he was here and he'd always be able to sort you out with whatever you were looking for. Loo rolls, tissues, tea towels, bin bags, you know, anything. I can hear yelling, there's football on. And the door just down there, I was told there used to be a chip shop. Just by that wheelie bin. There was a chip shop there apparently years ago. Everyone used to go there. I must have been 1950s at that point, something like that. The gentleman who told me the tale was young in the 50s, so. It's not open at the moment, but it will be later. Shotton Kebab House. I'm surprised it's not open at the moment, to be honest. Unless they're on their holidays, but I don't think I've ever seen them go on the holidays, those boys. That place is always open. Looks like Potluck is having some a different front put in or something. There's something going on over there. Not quite sure what it is. There's been a bit of work done there. And here we are at Wetherspoons. And as predicted, there swinging from the rooftops, but you never know. You might be able to get a space. Right, I'll pause it here because a load of alcoholics spotting a camera, never a good thing. Speak to you soon. Okay. What?
I just kicked somebody out.
Who?
I don't know.
Oh. No one we know. No one we know then.
I don't know. What is it? The alarm's going off.
Okay. Right, oh, we've just been to Wetherspoons. And thankfully the sun is now starting to clear off.
Well, nice out now though, isn't it? Cool.
Yeah.
You can sit out in it and it's lovely.
Yeah, it's far better now.
If you have to walk home, I don't mind stopping.
Shotton station is just up the top there. There used to be a ticket office just here on the left hand side, but that I think has been gone for quite a number of years. I can't remember it even as far back as the early 80s, so it's been gone a while. Station Cafe. This is a place that delivers breakfast to your home, so you can sit in your house in your boxer shorts.
You go on the Just Eat app, is it Just Eat? And then you get your breakfast ordered.
Yeah.
So all of that. And the best Chinese in town is Jim's Supper Bar. Look at that.
Anne-Marie's very keen on Jim's. It is nice, to be fair. And if you want something spicy, Jim's your man, because if you want something nice to eat that needs just a little extra bit of a kick, you can ask Jim and he'll make it a little bit spicier for you.
And they deliver as well for £1.
Yeah.
£2 now, that's better.
These little houses on the end here, the two of them, they used to be, well, one was a place called Monsters and the other was a butcher. Monsters was some kind of like arcade type place that was there in the early mid 80s, 80, 84, something along those lines ish. You get like punks and that hanging out in there, so it was that kind of era, you know. But it was quite some time ago. But then it became Gemini Blinds afterwards, and it was a blind shop for, goodness me, at least 25 years, I'd have thought. And Claremont Villa across the way. Sorry, this seems to be aiming at the floor rather than where I want it to. There we go. Let's give it a bit of a lift. Yeah, that was the old Dr. Gavin surgery across the way there.
Yeah. And the old joke shop.
Yeah. Crook's Pharmacy was the joke shop.
Sweets as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sweets on.
But that was only
down there,
1990s.
Walls where there's sheep. And that there on the corner is the Walls shop. We sell sweets.
But
when my granny
the joke shop,
got stoppers.
the joke shop was here, but previously the joke shop was across the road. It's now a house. Right, sorry, what were you saying, love?
No, that shop, the house on the corner was a shop. Walls.
Yes, it was, yeah. I remember that.
Sweets, and I got my gran this big gobstopper bubble gum thing.
Yeah.
And it got stuck to a denture. She wasn't impressed. She was walking across the road.
It was stuck to a dentures, oh God. Poor woman.
It's now a house now. And I met a lad in Chester, young lad, who said that he bought it and lives in it. I was like, oh, I remember it was a sweet shop.
So there you go.
Not sure what this was here.
This was Headmasters, the hairdressers.
Was it there? Were they there?
It was.
Was it there?
Oh, hang on, yeah, you got a point. It might have been that one. Oh, I'm getting mixed up now.
I don't know.
It was one of them two. One of them was the hairdressers anyway. I thought it was this one, but it could have been that one, you know? No. Oh. No. I've got old man's memory now. Old man's memory.
Old Terrace houses up there.
Yeah.
Wasn't this like a bakery here or something?
A what?
A bakery.
Oh, a bakery? Oh, I don't know.
Or was it where...
May have been, you know.
I'm sure there was a bakery here.
It may have been. You've got
Oh, this is before me, that. It's on my side. You've got Terrace houses up there.
Yeah. I know that Shotton Cycles, well, I was going to say was here, but is here. It's still here. My friend worked there for a while, but... Yeah, but I think, previously at least, that was nothing to do with that one. It may be now, I don't know.
Across the road does refurbished bikes second hand.
Yeah.
And it's 30 quid.
This bike shop here on the left, that used to specialise in mountain bikes more than racing bikes. And then the one across the way, Graham Ways, he was more of a racing bike chap. He was the kind of person you'd see going to races in Chester, etc. at the weekend.
But it is good though, you can buy second hand bikes off them.
This little place here was a cobbler's. There used to be a little model in the window of a cobbler tapping with his little hammer. Like an animatronic thing, you know.